sexy ass, separating shibari fact from shibari fiction, and let's talk about fondues at funerals. All this and more on today's How Did This Get Made? Last Looks. Hit the theme!
Time to say goodbye to this dark shit movie. So cross it off the list. Cross it off. Take it off the books, baby. Oh, let's get this over with. Last Looks.
Hello, all my erased Capricorns and Aquariuses. Just like Polish Elvis's wig, we are so happy you exist in this world. I'm your host, Paul Scheer, and welcome to this special, supersized edition of How Did This Get Made? Last Looks. That's right, because, yes, we took a little Last Looks hiatus while we were away on tour, and what a great tour. Thank you so much for coming out. The crowds were amazing. Truly, some of the most fun shows we had on the road. We were lucky enough to have June for 4 of the 9 shows, and every night, I gotta say, my favorite tour that we've ever done. Every night, night after night, the movies got better and better and better. Anyway, this episode of Last Looks isn't just about me talking about my enjoyment of the tour. No. I am talking about 2 big movies. This Is Me Now, A Love Story, and Jill Rips. We're going to get into corrections and omissions and dive deeper than you ever wanted to go into these films. Plus, later in the show, I will share an exclusive deleted scene from our Jill Rips live episode. And as always, I will reveal next week's movie. But first things first, a huge shout out to Josh Kramer for that opening song. Josh, you killed it. This is what we need. People like Josh. We got so many great people out there. Bombay Beach Revival. They got a song in a big show. I forget what show it is, but someone was telling me that Bombay Beach Revival has a song in a big show. I'm sorry, Bombay Beach Revival, that I'm not remembering what it is, but good on you. And we're lucky to have you. Look, we love all these songs. We want you all to have songs on big TV shows. But if you want to get your break here, send them to us at howdidthisgetmade@earwolf.com. Keep them short. 15 to 20 seconds is best. All right. We've been on tour, but we are still going to Toronto. That's right. Keep your ears open because there might be some new shows scattered in the mix. As always, you can check out Dark Web, a brand new web series with Rob Hubel and myself every Monday on YouTube. And Jason, get ready for it, is going to be on Taskmaster coming up this May. I cannot wait. All right, so let's get into it. During our last 2 episodes, we talked at length about This Is Me Now, A Love Story, and Jill Rips. We had questions, and we might have even missed a few things. Here's your chance to set us straight. Fact check us, if you will. It is now time for corrections and omissions.
On this podcast, we do everything right. Okay, maybe not. Sometimes we get things wrong. Some other stuff we just forgot. But corrections and omissions is where we uncover it all. But enough about me. Let's hand it over now to Paul.
All right. Thank you, Rob from Long Island. Another favorite of the show. Rob from Long Island creating this amazing theme song. Up first, we will be talking about This Is Me Now, A Love Story. A film that Discord user Arkham Player thought should have been titled This Is You, Leaving, a Short Story. Ooh, I like that. All right, let's go to the Discord. Android Hotel writes, what was funny is that when J-Lo comes home with the Diddy-esque character, all her friends are just sitting in her apartment. Who let them in? Is hanging out in J-Lo's apartment without her there a normal occurrence for her friends? You know what, Android Hotel? I think you get to a level of being so rich that people just are able to get into your house at all times and just hang. Like, I believe, from what I see on the Real Housewives, people are always coming in and out. It's like a train station in there. I hope to get that famous where someone's going to always open the door and you can be like, yeah, J-Lo said I could come over and have some bananas. Great. And you can. And you know what? You could leave and J-Lo wouldn't even know those bananas are taken. That's fame. Jessica writes this. I've always been struck by J-Lo's pattern of being in romantic relationships with men that match her career aspirations. You know, she does music, and she's with Diddy. She does movies, and she's with Ben Affleck. She does Latin music, and she's with Mark Anthony. She's with Affleck again, and she decides to make a movie. You know, I'd love to hear June's thoughts about this, and if it has any impact on the films. You know, I would say, Jessica, you are kind of right, but where your theory falls apart is when she was dating A-Rod. Did she get into Major League Baseball? Because I don't remember J-Lo being a DH for any team in the MLB. You know what? When I get into a project, I kind of look and I'm kind of gearing up. Like when I was writing my book, Joyful Recollections of Trauma, I listened to a ton of biographies. It inspired me. So maybe she is just dating people to inspire her to create her best art. I mean, it's not odd, you know? I mean, it is going against that rule. Like don't shit where you eat. Is that a rule? I think that's a rule because she's like in the field and then dating in the field. But, you know, I don't question J-Lo. Clearly, she's got it figured out. Anyway, Gritty Realism writes, the gang mentioned that J-Lo was influenced by Lemonade, which seems obvious. However, in the documentary, J-Lo says nobody has ever done anything like this, mixing music videos and a feature. Does this imply that she never saw Lemonade or Michael Jackson's Moonwalker or Tommy? Or is she just lying? I mean, that is kind of bizarre. I mean, I would say that there's even a longer history than what you just mentioned as well. There's a lot of movies that are music videos. And you know what? This is another thing about being super famous. A, you're like a horse with blinders on. You only see what you get. And then B, sometimes you watch somebody do something really good and then you adopt it as your own, not like recognizing that you're stealing something or that you've already seen that idea. It's like, oh, that was my idea. Like she saw Lemonade and she's like, oh, I have an idea. I was inspired by this idea, not realizing that her inspiration was what she's doing. But she said she never saw it. I don't know. Look, to figure out J-Lo is to live in that house, right? Oh, so many J-Lo monograms. I know people were upset we didn't talk about all the J-Lo monograms all over the house when she's watching Barbra Streisand. I mean, I think we got to look into J-Lo's mind. I don't think we're going to unpack or figure it out. I just sit back and enjoy the show. SS Lizard writes, I think that what J-Lo wants is limerence, not love. She's in love with the idea of love, but she wants the honeymoon phase, not a real relationship. Now, our producer Scott chimed in because I was like, Scott, what does limerence mean? And he's like, well, look, Paul, limerence is a state of intense involuntary romantic infatuation or obsession with another person characterized by a strong desire for reciprocation and emotional dependence. While limerence can feel like love, it's distinct in that it's often one-sided, based on obsession rather than a deep emotional connection, and has a limited lifespan ending once reality sets in. So I guess what Scott is saying is, SS Lizard, you're wrong. I think you are right, but you shouldn't have used the word limerence because I agree. She wants the honeymoon phase where everything is perfect and where she gets turned around is when things get hard. I'm going to tell you, this is not an advice show. Sometimes I give advice, but all relationships, friendships, partners, husbands, wives, kids, parents, they're all hard. They have amazing moments in them. And those amazing moments make all the hard times worth it. But that's a relationship. And I feel like if you just want the beginning part, you actually don't know what love is. Wow. Should I take a break? That's a kind of take a break moment. No, I can't. But let's go to the phones.
Hi, Paul. It's Jill from Los Angeles. I just wanted to make a correction. Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck were married for 10 years from 2005 to 2015, and they have 3 kids. So they weren't just together. They were married for quite a long time. Bye.
Okay, Jill. Sorry, I misspoke. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner did not just date. They were married for 10 years and have 3 kids together. I knew that. Look, we're just going, right? This is not a Wikipedia page. We're not putting this into an encyclopedia, all right? Don't come to me looking for all the facts. This is not a fact show. Anyway, here's another one coming at me about what I said, what I meant. Who cares? Yes, and Bitter Pill, they're writing in on the Discord too. Oh, Paul said that J-Lo and A-Rod got married. Yes, I know they weren't married while they got engaged. They broke it off in 2021 before getting married. You know what? When you're engaged, you're married. It's like when people say, oh, we just were dating for 10 years. You're married. It means the same thing. On some level, it means the same thing. What are we doing here? We're adopting one title and then not. Oh, so you don't want to marry that? What are you doing? You're married. I'm not even going to say I'm wrong anymore. You know what? I'm right. They were married. You've made the commitment to be married. You got engaged. You're married. Anyway, I don't need this. I don't need any of this bullshit. I need some real theories. Zilla21 has a theory. Zilla21 says, I think the reason why J-Lo kept Ben Affleck's engagement ring is because she is kind of running a thriving business venture. If you think about it, her engagement rings are estimated between $11 and $20 million. I mean, that's just good business. I mean, in this world in which the economy is always fluctuating, diamond rings ain't going anywhere. I mean, I don't know if she can cut them up and make them into new rings, but my thought is that J-Lo, I bet, is keeping all her rings like in a display case, like at the museum. Like, this is a reflection of my love, not these are $30 million in assets. I don't know. Again, I would like to think that J-Lo has a hall of love, like a museum of modern art, but all like dedicated to the men that have made an impression in her life. What was that song, Ariana Grande? Thank you, Pete, for all that you showed me. Move on, or next up, whatever that song was. Batter Up? Was that the name of the song? I think it was Batter Up. All right, lastly, we have a video to share from Cash Money Coward, who writes, J-Lo may be Jenny from the block, but here's a hilarious old TV interview where she goes back to the Bronx and no one has any idea of who she is. This was brought up to me the most on the tour. I know about this, and I'm so glad Cash Money Coward is bringing this to the forefront. Take a listen.
Hi. I used to live here. Huh? I used to live here.
Where's your name?
Huh?
Where's your name?
My name is Jennifer.
Jennifer?
Yeah, I used to live and my room was upstairs right there.
Jennifer?
Jennifer Lopez.
Who's Jennifer Lopez?
Me. I used to live here. For a long time.
Oh boy. That makes me, it's embarrassing. I mean, I think it's like you don't recognize, I feel bad. Of course, by the way, that speaks more on them than it does on her. It's not like J-Lo isn't gigantically famous, right? But that is awkward as hell. Anyway, while we're talking about Jenny from the block, let's end with a t-shirt pitch from Matty Ice. All right, Matty Ice writes, Jenny from the block. How about Paulie from the Blockbuster? Print the shirt. By the way, I love that. I wish we made that shirt, Paulie from the Blockbuster. Unfortunately, we made a Fat Joe shirt, which I think is equally great. And you can print it as a sticker. And I've already put it on 2 lampposts. Is that vandalism? Should I not admit to that? I don't know. Anyway, so many great corrections and omissions, but I won't be crowning a winner until we tackle the submissions for Jill Rips. I mean, right now, the one that strikes me as bringing the most heat to this, man, oh man. You know what? I do want to get into how J-Lo lives, and I think the idea that her friends are just always hanging out at her house makes me laugh. But that video that no one gets Jenny from the block is A++. So you are going to round 2, Cash Money Coward. Round 2, here we go, right after this. All right, welcome back. It is finally time to enter the cold room. That's right, the cold room for corrections and omissions for Jill Rips. And Discord user Arkham Player is back with another alt tagline. Jill Rips, the BDSM stands for boring, dull, shitty movie. These are great. This week, the IMDb taglines are making me laugh. I love it. Back to the Discord. Django1 writes, I can't believe no one has mentioned the most disturbing part of this amazing movie. At the wake, when Dolph and his cop friend are talking at the table, there's an obvious fondue set. Who serves fondue at a wake? On top of that, there are multiple fondue forks in the pot. Are we to believe that many people come to the wake, put their fork in, and then wandered off to give their condolences? So sorry for your loss. Oh, wait, gotta go get my fondue. That is ridiculous. Well, let me tell you this. Fondue is a great wake thing to do because you're saying you got to put it in. You don't have to put it in. You dip and eat, dip and go, dip and go. They should have reusable fondue forks. I mean, that was what I think the issue is probably. Look, it's the 70s. It's set dressing. Wakes were full of fondue. People were dipping bread and cheese. Oh man, I got to get myself a fondue kit. Frosted Nebula writes, if you're getting into a latex bodysuit, baby powder piles up in the suit. Silicone lube is the best thing to cover yourself in first. Thank you, Frosted Nebula. I am sorry. I guess you're right. It would be drying your skin, the baby powder. Silicone lube. Oh boy, that's so much. There must be so much to clean up after that. And then you got to clean the suit. How do you clean that suit? Let me know how you clean that suit. I do want to know how do you clean that, because for me, I would just throw away the suit. No, I'm not yucking a yum. I'm just yucking a cleaning hat. I don't want to clean it. I'm not even saying for like weird sex stuff. I just don't want to clean a suit full of silicone lube and my sweat and all my chest hair. Oh, gross. Anyway, Dove writes, I was surprised that the crew didn't mention that the first BDSM light club that Dolph visits was named Emma Peel's, a nod to the fabulous Diana Riggs character from the 1960s BBC TV show The Avengers. She famously wore a black leather catsuit. I also felt like I needed to point out that Dolph plays an ex-cop, but he carries a gun around, and immediately the cops just let him become part of the investigation, walk through crime scenes, go through the files. Now, Dove, I want to attack your second part first. That is cop trope. If you're a cop in a town and you retire, they let you back in full force. I mean, every TV show and movie let him in here. He's one of us. It's a cop code. Don't, it's the 70s too. So that cop code is going hot. But I do love that a set designer made that choice. And I guarantee you no one saw it or recognized it or even questioned it. Because here's the thing. It's also from the 70s, even though this movie was made in the 90s. Would Emma Peel have been that iconic? I mean, it would have just happened ultimately, right? I mean, I guess it's earlier. I don't know. It's like, it's nearby. I don't think that there's a club naming itself Emma Peel's like right away. It would be like almost like having a bar named Bluey. Well, I guess we wouldn't have a bar named Bluey. I don't know. Dog shelter named Bluey's. Bluey's house. Bluey's Clues. Blue's Clues. Bluey stole from Blue's Clues. God. All right, here we go. Back to the phones. Ariel from LA, what do you got?
Hi, Paul. This is Ariel. I'm an intimacy coordinator in LA. I just listened to your episode, Jill Rips, and I just wanted to speak to the shibari question about hanging upside down. A lot of people hang upside down, but you don't have to. Not everybody does. And generally speaking, shibari just sort of gives you this feeling of being held. So when the ropes go around a person, depending on where the knots are, it hits different points of the body and basically sets off the parasympathetic nervous system in different ways. So if the person being tied up wants to be upside down, it will basically have a little bit of a head rush. It will bring a little bit more to the chest than, let's say, someone who's maybe on their back and being held by the arms and by the ankles or the other way around. But anyway, thought that might be interesting to you and your listeners. I love the show, and thank you so much.
Wow. Okay. I am learning a lot about shibari. I appreciate shibari, and I'm glad that we got this little education. But guess what? There's more. Melissa from LA, what do we got?
Hey, Paul, and Jason and Jim. My name is Melissa. I've been listening to How Did This Get Made for 10 years, and this week's episode is the first time I felt absolutely compelled to call in for a correction. You all were right to have so many questions for the person sharing their experience about shibari. They were so confident and so close to being right. I'm the co-owner of Devil Mask Studio here in DTLA, and I've been teaching folks how to tie each other up more safely for over a decade. I wanted to correct a few things that person mentioned about shibari. Yes, it has some relationship to a martial practice called Hojo-Jitsu that was historically used to capture and restrain prisoners. But it has been reinterpreted and recontextualized into a primarily artistic and sexual practice over the last 100 years. Yes, it can sometimes be escaped, but generally not easily, especially once you're in suspension. And most of the point is to be restrained and surrender to the experience so you won't be trying to get out anyway. It's awesome that Jason bought rope, and June seems interested in trying it too. If you're up for it, I invite you all to the studio for a private lesson when you're back from the tour. Love the show. Thank you for 10 years of laughs since I've been listening. And all of our guys, thank you. And thank you for introducing me to this absolute nonsense movie. It was wild. Thank you. Bye.
First of all, thank you so much. I will ask Jason and June if they would like to accompany me. I need to check it out. And all right. So this is interesting now, okay? Everyone, I love this. I love knowing about shibari. By the way, our shirt for this is Olaf in shibari, and it's Naughty Olaf is the name of the shirt. We had to take it down because we got a copyright issue, but we were able to change the Olaf. So now, I mean, it still looks like Olaf, but we were able to, go around it. Anyway, Melissa and Ariel bringing in the heat with shibari talk. I mean, maybe we should just call this corrections, omissions, and shibari illuminations. I love it. If Jason, June, and I went to your shibari studio, I think that would be, we got to take this show on the road. We got to get a video of this. All of us. I would love it. Anyway, Hang Nong Man wrote this, while watching the opening credits, my fiance and I came across the name Charles Sexius and had a juvenile chuckle imagining his last name being pronounced sexy ass. However, I noticed on IMDb that Big Jim Conway's actual name is Charles Sayas, which means his name was misspelled in the movie. Coincidentally, Charles's final credit on IMDb is for a character named Dolph. What? Separately, I want to say I've been listening to the show since 2012, and I cannot thank you and this podcast enough for all the free laughs. The show has gotten me through many dark periods and was a ray of light during the pandemic for my fiance and I, who are finally getting married this September. And if this is remotely interesting enough to make it onto Last Looks, Haley, I love you. I'm eternally grateful to P, J, and Z, and the rest of the How Did This Get Made crew and community. I love you all. Oh, hang on, man. First of all, you come in here with a fact that I'm like, love it, right? This guy's name misspelled 3 different places. Then they miscredit him. You get paid extra for that. Rob Hubel, they spelled his name wrong in The Love Guru. They paid him extra. By the way, it's a great deal. Spell your name wrong, you get more money. And then you get this fun little fact about yourself. Well, look, I was going to say, Melissa and Ariel, you guys were going to split the best correction omission. But now, I got to say, to someone who's been listening since 2012, which I know many of you have, but we got a fiance situation here. We got a marriage going on. Maybe Melissa will offer you a free shibari, or discount. Let's give them a discount. We all have to make money. Give them a discount, Melissa. If they come to LA, get them up in shibari. Anyway, our winner this week is Hang Young Man. Is that how you say it? Hey Young Man. And Haley. Because you know what? Honestly, they are the best. All right. I love it all. Thank you so much for all these corrections and omissions. They were all great, except for the 2 people who decided to correct me. Do not do that again. I am so mad. Anyway, Hey Young Man, you get this amazing song from Honest Jams. Hit it! All right, if you want to chime in with your own thoughts about the latest episode, hit up the Discord at discord.gg/HDTGM or call us at 619-PAULASK. All right, coming up after the break, I will finally announce next week's movie. But first, take a listen to this bonus deleted scene from Jill Rips, where we talk about why you should never trust ChatGPT.
All right, what's your question?
Hi. I'm hoping maybe a book person can help, but I was very confused when watching this book. I thought maybe it was because I was quite high, but I'm glad everybody else was also confused. But I looked it up on ChatGPT afterwards to say, please describe this movie to me, like basis by basis. It goes to start pretty accurately, but then it flips into talking about how he's obsessed with a girl named Griffin and how Griffin is actually the murderer, and Griffin...
You can't trust ChatGPT for stuff like this, yeah.
Griffin in the book, is there a character named Griffin in the book?
Is there... Book readers? No.
No, they're saying no.
I think this is just ChatGPT going rogue on you.
Oh, it's almost like that's an untrustworthy place to go for information.
I one time when I was trying to find a trivia fact for a movie, and they said, Steve Carell originally decided to do a robot voice for 40-year-old virgin. And I wrote back to ChatGPT, go, that's not true. And they said, my mistake. You're right. It's not true. Like I was like, wait, you just lied to me.
But
God
also
help
owned
us.
it.
God help us if the next 30, for the rest of our lives, we're just scolding AI.
I was like, I don't think
misleading us.
I was like, I don't think that's true. It's like, oh, you're right. It is. But I was like, wow, you just made
Then
up
it's
that
no
Steve
better
Carell...
than it's no better than my friends.
Yeah.
It's no better than someone I ask.
All right, we are back. By now, you've noticed that every week we re-release old How Did This Get Made episodes. Every Tuesday, we release something from the past that relates to something from the present. And this week's matinee was another Dolph Lundgren classic, Masters of the Universe. Love that episode. Tatiana Maslany, I believe, was the guest on that. So much fun. All right, keep on checking out our replays. Many people don't even realize that they're replays, which is even better. So yeah, we have 2 episodes a week. And if you heard it before, hit yourself in the head before you listen. All right, so Jason will be back next week for another Just Chat segment, which means we're jumping right ahead. That's right. We are going from Shibari Grunter to Safari Hunter. That's right. Next episode, we are watching the 2024 superhero movie Kraven the Hunter, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ariana DeBose, and Russell Crowe. Oh, it's a great Russell Crowe performance. Anyway, Rotten Tomatoes gives this film a 15% on the tomato meter, and Dominic Baez from the Seattle Times says Kraven may be the world's greatest hunter, but next time he needs to track down a better movie. Oh, Dominic gave you a Kraven slam. Now look, I love this movie. It was dumb as hell, and I enjoyed every damn minute. But why don't you be the judge? Listen to the trailer.
Are you like your father? A killer?
He puts evil into the world. I get rid of people like him.
You think you have some kind of honor? Some kind of code? You're a criminal, just like our father.
Kraven the Hunter, in theaters December 13th.
All right. Oh, I'm getting excited just listening to it. You can stream Kraven the Hunter for free on Netflix or rent it on Apple TV or Amazon Prime Video. Separately, I encourage you to check out Hoopla, Canopy, and Libby, which are digital media services offered by your local library that allow you to consume movies, TV, music, audiobooks, ebooks, and comics for free. All right, people, that is it for Last Looks. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate and review us. Please also make sure that you are following us and have automatic downloads turned on. I'm going to say that again. Please make sure automatic downloads are turned on. It helps the show, and we appreciate it. You can visit us on social media at HDTGM, and a big thank you to our producers. Welcome back, Scott Sani. Welcome back, Scott. He came back from his maternity leave. A beautiful baby. Oh my gosh, we're psyched to have him back. Molly Reynolds also just kicking it. And our movie picking producer, Avril Halley, our audio engineer, Casey Holford, and Jess Cisneros, who creates our amazing Instagram vids. We will see you next week for Kraven the Hunter.